Detective Pikachu was great, right? I mean, it was cute, it made us believe that Pokemon could be real, and it's just charming despite all odds. Well, what if I told you that this movie is a bit hurtful to certain people? Detective Pikachu is ableist. Now, before you go off on a rant, I love this movie. It's probably my favorite movie of 2019 so far. Most of the people who brought up the ableism in it seem to love it too. It's just a problem that exists. Personally, I didn't really notice the issue myself upon my first viewing. I'm not exactly the person being insulted here, so I just didn't pick up the problem. The fact is, oftentimes we don't see things as problems unless we're the ones being personally attacked. It's only until we listen to others that things become more clear. But what is ableism? It's a term that, if we're honest, is not thrown around often. To put it simply, it's discrimination against those with disabilities. Which begs the question, how is Pokemon ableist in their new live-action film? From here on out, I'll be spoiling the film, so please, if you've yet to see it, I suggest you do so. So, Detective Pikachu is a film about the Pokemon world. More specifically, a mystery set in Rhyme City, a place where humans and Pokemon coexist. The founder of the city is one Howard Clifford, played by Bill Nye. Throughout the film, we are told of his kindness and research of Pokemon. Despite his deteriorating body, Howard is a successful man. The twist comes in and we find out that Howard is actually evil. He believes he's saving humanity, but really he's just imposing his will to others. See, his deteriorating health didn't make him want to help people, it just made him want to steal a new body free from his chair. But not just any body, the body of the godlike man-made Pokemon, Mewtwo. But rather than end there, he uses his new form to imprison other people and Pokemon, regardless of how they feel, while ignoring what such a plan actually means for the Pokemon themselves. It's a creepy plan once you start thinking about it, but it makes some sense in that world given that humans are normal, but Pokemon are super beings. In many ways, it's Get Out but for kids, once that comes into play. The theft of a superior form. But while Get Out is effectively about racists who fool themselves into believing their desire to be young is an innocent, possibly even progressive goal, Detective Pikachu's Howard is the only one interested in being a Pokemon, with his desire to force others into his plan possibly just a selfish mindset trying to justify it as right. The movie never delves deep into the thoughts Howard has. It is a family film after all, so you can't blame them too much. But if we were to dig deeper, it's likely that at some point Howard realized that he was hurting a Pokemon for his own selfish goals. After all, if all he wanted was a new body, why specifically such a powerful one? Why not something simple to find? After all, there were other experiments out there. Surely any would work. It's not a body he wanted, it was godhood. The kindness of doing the same for humanity was a way to justify his horrible goal. See, I made humans better too, so I didn't steal this creature because I was evil. It was just a means to save others from facing the struggles I faced. What? I didn't need to ask them what they wanted. They'll love what I do. Upon my first viewing of the film, I just figured this was a cautionary tale about not accepting your aging form. Is this ageism? Look, I'll just stick to the ableist topic right now. After all, Howard wasn't always disabled according to his backstory. Was it the greatest villain plan? No. But I enjoyed it for the ride it provided and thought little of it, until I started reading comments of it being quite ableist. At first, I wanted to deny these claims. After all, the movie wasn't mean-spirited, it was cute, and it's not like they said that all disabled people were bad. Which is a problem in a society that rarely acknowledges these problems. We don't notice these things.
No, we're not cops.
As a society, we need to recognize these problems more often. Just because someone isn't intentionally being hateful, that doesn't mean that they aren't adding to the problem. Much as I love this movie, it certainly doesn't help when the only disabled character is evil, with a goal that boils down to, I wish I didn't have this disability. No, I don't think this movie hates disabled people, but that doesn't exactly create a positive representation of a malign group of people. To give a personal example, I'd like to point out that I am Hispanic, and I thought Suicide Squad was pretty racist. This claim has been repeated quite a bit, but I still see many ignoring the claims. Now, I don't believe anyone on Suicide Squad was intentionally making the film with racism in mind, but when your Hispanic hero, or villain I guess, is talking and acting like he'd fit in with stereotypical propaganda, it becomes hard to forgive that aspect. I'm sure the people calling out Detective Pikachu are reacting just like I did with movies like Suicide Squad. Regardless if the issue was intentionally made harmful is not the point. The point is that it is hurtful representation. One that could have been smoother if the people making the movie had listened to more people in said group being represented. It's not a matter of, we need a good guy. It's a matter of listening to people, hearing them say, okay, this character is falling into some nasty tropes. What if you did this to make them more compelling and like a real person of my background? Society will always need to improve on itself, even when we all mean well, because sometimes meaning well ignores the reality of certain issues. If you all listen and say, look, this doesn't affect me, but I get why it bothers you, I'll do better next time, we can improve things. Detective Pikachu is sadly an ableist movie. I still love it, but that's not okay. It's also not hateful, but still, it's not okay. Maybe if we all amplify the voices of those hurt, this mistake won't be made again. Maybe we can make things better, because it's okay to acknowledge when the things we love mess up, and if the people making this are genuinely trying to do good, then they should be open to hearing about where they fall short. We all should feel welcome, and it's okay to point out, hey, that was wrong. So let's do that. And let's join in and amplify the voices that say they were heard. Just a thought.